joining me. Helen Appiah-Ampofo will also be joining me. Let me tell you what's on the table today. We'll take a closer look at something that's sparking debate. The necessity of get fund allocations to members of parliament. Should MPs have access to the funds? Or these funds should be strictly reserved for students and educational infrastructure? Who really benefits from this decision? What does the law say? We're breaking it all down here on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Just the facts, the argument and the debate, and of course, your thoughts on the matter. That's just one bit of it. We are in April. It's the 1st of April, 2025. You know, April is Easter. And as the festive season draws closer, we shift gears to something that affects all of us: road safety and compliance. We've all seen it before. Reckless driving, overloaded vehicles, and the usual holiday rush. It turns our roads into danger zones. But with more people traveling, how do we ensure safety without taking away the festive spirit? And most importantly, what can we do to stay safe on our roads? We're keeping it smooth and interactive this morning. Just the right blend of serious discussions and holiday relaxation. Let's speak with Felicity Hafianyo from the Ghana Met on how this beautiful Tuesday morning is feeling like, the 1st of April 2025, and how she's celebrating her holidays. Felicity, good morning to you. How are you, ma'am?
Good morning, Ogo. I'm better today than yesterday. What about you?
I am better today than yesterday as well. How was your holiday celebrations been?
My holiday was okay, but still on the road. We are doing some sort of training education about the weather to the farmers across the country. I was in about 2 regions so far, preparing to go to the 3rd region. So it has been work. However, I managed to have some time with some of my friends at home.
I see. That's good. Talk to us. 1st April 2025. What's the weather like?
Yes, today we expect the weather to be cloudy this morning over some few areas, especially those of us around the coastal belt and then into the forest regions. From 10 thereabouts, we expect it to become partly cloudy and extend to every other part of the country. The sun will also smile on us, and we expect to reach a maximum of 33 for Accra. For those of us in Takrady, Axim, those in Aflau, Ketsa, and its enclaves. For Kumasi, Koforedia, Ho, Achimda, Abetifi, and its environs, we expect a maximum temperature of 35 degrees Celsius. If you're in Damango, you are Tamale, Yendi, Sandema, and its environs, we expect temperatures around 37 to 39 degrees Celsius. With our brethren in the north, Upper East, Upper West, Bogatanga, Nagongo, Boku, and its environs, we expect them to have as high as 41 degrees Celsius. And this is the time that we are advising or advocating that we should try as much as possible to avoid the hottest parts of the day between 11 and 3 p.m. This is the period that the sun reaches its peak. If you want to do any outdoor activities, let's try our best to get a shade or a hat that will prevent us receiving the direct sunshine. We are used to it though, but then in terms of the intensity, we expect it to be a bit high. So let's abide to that. Then for the fisher folks for today, the Volta Lake is pretty cool until late afternoon, where we expect some rain and thundercloud formation around Atimpoku Enclave and parts of the Afram Plain. So they should watch out for some rain this evening. Likewise, those of us around Kumasi, Akimoda, Abetifi, and into Sunyani Wenchi Enclaves, we should watch out for some rain and thunder in the afternoon into the evening hours. The state of the sea, we expect it to be rough, and today we don't have much rain and thunderclouds over the sea. The fisher folks can navigate, but then they need to be careful in terms of the state of the sea that we are expecting it to be rough. So for today, Tuesday, this is how we are expecting it, and it's pretty cool for any outdoor activities.
I see. Felicity, thank you so much. What's your plan for the rest of the day, Felicity?
Currently, I'm on my way to Volta regions. I'm doing a return journey. So that's what I'll be doing today.
Felicity, safe journey and all the best for the day.
Thank you.
A lot of music and some light-hearted discussions.
Under the canopy, under the canopy.
Sixtus Ullo has joined me.
Sing it.
When we're playing the song, the man came to look at who is singing the song. And Sisters, what was your concern with the song?
I've always been with you.
But what did you want to say about it? Is it the man is saying?
These songs belong to all of us. The man has come to put them on YouTube. Is he making money?
Yes, he has added some nice blend to it. The song is nice. Are you listening? That song, Sisters, this is making me want to ask, how come? You know that mobile money transactions have hit 649.2 billion cedis in only 2 months of 2025. How did they happen, Don Ullo?
I don't do money.
The total value of money transactions in the first 2 months of 2025, it increased to 649.2 billion cedis.
Compared to what in December?
We're comparing it to the same period in last year. So it represented year-on-year growth of 64.68%. In the first 2 months of 2024, the total value of mobile money transactions was estimated at 394.2 billion cedis. According to data from the Bank of Ghana, the value of mobile money transactions in January 2025 was 333 billion cedis. The e-levy has not left yet. Can we attribute it to
the expectation? Even the expectation of it is part of the, attributors of confidence, public confidence in the system. You say that even the expectation of the removal or cancellation of the e-levy, that in itself is bringing people back to the system. So whether it's effectively gone or not, well, the law may have been passed, but the system calibration may also take a bit of time. I'm not a technical person, but I don't expect that the day the law passes, it ceases immediately. I think there may still be a week or two where the system will then have to be reset.
Yes, the GRA will have to go through their books, know how to go about it and all of that.
Exactly. So that recalibration in itself may take a week or two. So as we speak, I'm sure that when you do a transaction, you still see e-levy. It doesn't mean that it's not going or it's not gone. It's gone. But that setting may take a bit of time. Maybe we may need the technical people to better explain that. But the expectation of it going alone can bring back some confidence to the system.
Well, because the two candidates promised that they would scrap it when they win. And one of them won, and the process has begun in earnest. So, you know that analysts are also anticipating that mobile money transactions would go further up, bolstering the financial technology space. Meanwhile, the total number of registered mobile money accounts stood at 74.1 million, compared to 66.9 million during the same period in 2024. So
we have people, a lot more people enrolling as merchants. No, but you see that also brings...
No, this one is users, regular people registering.
Regular users.
Yes, not...
So we are seeing some growth in the
Yes, you were seeing growth, 66.9 million and then 74.1 million. That's the difference that we're seeing right now. So in 2024, the total value of mobile money transactions hit a record of 3.019 trillion cedis, about 57.90.
Is this transactions in volumes or individuals recorded as users?
So what I'm reading right now is the total value of mobile money transactions.
Okay.
Yes, and that's to that there over 3 trillion cedis. So that's about
between January and March.
No, this is in 2024. Do you understand?
Yes. No, you said between the same period. What period are you referring to?
So between 2023 January and 2023 December.
Okay.
That stood at over 3 trillion Ghana cedis. And that's a growth of 57.90% growth year on year. So 2023 and then 2024. But so far for 2025, we're seeing this 649.2 billion cedis. So with how we're going, it looks as though we'll surpass there's
some growth.
The 2023 this thing.
It's good to hear. I think that a lot of us want to move away from carrying cash on us. But this e-levy thing was a great disincentive to a transition onto a cashless society. And we are not now saying it. We've always said it. It was part of the argument those of us against e-levy canvassed in opposition to the passage of e-levy. We've always said it, that this will not augur well for, it won't encourage people to get onto the platform, to resort to electronic transactions rather than cash transactions. And in fact, I have even used the example here on this same platform. I've used the examples of how you enter into a supermarket, you buy the same item, you pay with Momo, another person pays with cash, and you tend to pay more than the person who is paying with cash.
Yeah.
So we've experienced all of these things, and I think that we can only say it's good news that now the law has been repealed. So let's look forward. And in looking forward, we have to begin to talk about security for the vendors, because a lot of them are coming under attacks. Day in, day out, we are hearing vendors being attacked in their homes, at their shops.
Yes.
In fact, some are even tracked on the way home. They are attacked. How do we ensure that vendors are provided maximum security? I mean, we can't detail policemen to all mobile money stands. It is not possible. How do we, is there a kind of an education program that we can design for Momo vendors to ensure that they are self-conscious of their environment, and that if they are hit, there are some protocols that they can go through to activate a certain quick response from a certain security unit. That would mean that we have that unit on standby, on the ready to go, so that if there's an alert that is triggered from a vendor in East Legon, immediately there's a quick response from security.
A team that is readily available.
A team that is readily available to deal with such attacks. That's the only way to protect them.
Over the weekend, I saw some footage of a mobile money vendor who was attacked. So he was in a shop. He had a camera in his shop, and then he was there. Some 2 people came to the shop. They were standing some way, and then he asked them to come forward so that they do business. I mean, they do the transaction. When they came forward, they pounced on him. They started beating him. And then they nearly killed him. He had to say they should take the money and leave him alone. So they took the money and they were telling him to keep quiet. So their security is the way it is right now is bad. How do they sense attacks? How do they detect suspicious behavior of people who may have intentions of coming to rob them? All these should be maybe some training for them to know.
Exactly.
And then after that, there should be something should happen to them.
It also calls for a better organization of the vendors. I know now this guy speaks for them. What's his name? This guy that we talk to a lot of the time. But I am not sure how well organized they are.
Yeah.
It's like saying Okada Riders Association. The other time, Alfred was interviewing
Evans Otufo is the general secretary.
Evans is the name I was looking for. The other day, Alfred was talking to some Okada guy. He said, and they be the national people, but Mahama is using shaman people. You see, how do we identify you? How do we make sure that all mobile money operators come under a certain umbrella for such a program that we are talking about? Because now any corner you turn, you find a vendor there. So we need to be able to begin to identify them through a certain means. And they themselves need to be able to better organize themselves into a certain unit that can then say that, okay, we are calling for a certain training program, and we want our members to be taken through 1, 2, 3, 4 protocols, so that if in the event of an attack, the vendor who is sitting in some corner at Baoleshi, for instance, would be able to trigger those protocols.
Would know what to do.
And yes, and to get a certain response. It's going to be challenging.
But it should come with the support of these telcos. These mobile money agents, they're part of the stakeholders of the telcos, the MTNs, Telecel, Teltic. They should be involved, and they should be concerned about the welfare or how to protect the people who are helping them, run their business.
No, you see, I'm very careful how I'm making this point. That's why I said it myself, that it will be very difficult. They are dealing with cash.
Right.
I mean, you've given the man cash. He's giving you electronic. You, on your side, you are safe. On his side, he is not. Because he's sitting there with the cash. And he can only, relay that cash to a certain central point at the close of business, the business day. So there's no way, and we cannot also say that we are detailing policemen to all.
Won't have enough.
In fact, it's not possible. It is practically impossible. It's not an expectation anybody can have. But how do we ensure, and again, it's not an expectation we can have of the telcos. We can't expect MTN, for instance, to in any way protect all MTN merchants in a particular locality.
But they should have an idea who their merchants are. For Telecel, yes. So if you
they issue I will be shocked.
Exactly, till numbers and all of that.
I will be shocked if, for instance, MTN says that they don't know their merchants in a particular location. So that will be shocking to me.
If you know them, if you do know them, MTN knows its customers. The people who use MTN buy credit and all of they know their customers. Yes. That's how they're able to send direct messages to them and all of that. Why can't they go a step further? Because now these agents who are working for them or on their behalf have been exposed to some threat, some risk. Why can't they do something to improve their security?
They do? What do you expect them to do? What can they do? I mean, think about it. That's why I started by saying that the man is sitting there with cash. In fact, in some of the communities, if you go to certain communities where the Momo vendor has practically become the only bank in the community, the man has to carry cash with him in his house. So, I mean, what can the telco do? What can Airtel Tigo do for a man who is sitting in Ullo doing Momo transaction? The nearest bank,
the least they can do
the nearest bank is in Japa. So, what would he do? He's receiving cash from community members. Maybe somebody is in Wa, for instance, sending money to the person in Ullo. So, the Momo vendor receives and gives the cash, or takes the cash and relays the e-money to whoever. Whatever you do, the vendor has cash with him.
Yes.
And this vendor has to put the money in his house. So what can the telco do about it?
No, so if you're asking what they can do, is this suggesting there's no role they can play?
I'm not saying there's no role they can play.
They can't even
but I'm just
train
saying
them
that
to...
we should be measured in our expectations. even the point on security I raised, we should still be measured. Because I keep saying that it is practically impossible to expect the Ghana Police Service, for instance.
That would not be the only solution available.
That's what I ask you. What are the possible solutions?
So help them maybe get cameras, for instance. Not all mobile money agents have cameras in their shops. There are those who are working on tables, and they are part of the mobile money. They are also mobile money agents.
It also depends on your on your scale of operations. But there are levels, even among the Momo people, we can talk about microfinance. We can talk about. That's true,
but it is not only the
community cooperative.
That's correct. It is not only the big mobile money agents who are robbed. People who are doing their service on tables are also robbed. So
I know that
it's we cannot segregate them like that when it comes to security matters.
No, Crosby, you're not getting the point I'm making. I'm saying that I spoke about training. I spoke about training them to know what to do when there's an attack. I spoke about that.
Yeah. So,
and I also made the point that we cannot expect the Ghana Police Service, for instance, to provide police detail to all mobile money operators. It is not possible. And I also made a point. Number 3, we cannot expect the telcos to practically provide any form of security, because whatever security the telcos will be providing will affect only the e-transactions that they have made. Unless the person comes, unless the robber comes to say that you put your PIN, transfer all the money that you have, transactions that you have, transfer that to me.
Maybe Helen can help us here. We're not talking only about the e-transactions that they need protection for. Their presence physically at their locations. When people are coming to rob them, they're not only robbing them based on the transactions they have made. They are robbing them because they are there at that moment. They have cash on them and all of that. Maybe Helen you have some input to making this.
What do you expect the telcos to do?
For instance, for all the mobile money agents who are working with you, help them get security cameras. Help them get alarms to trigger when they suspect, when they sense suspicious activity. That's a step they can. That's something they can do to help protect these people.
How different is that from what I said? What I have been saying?
The way you are saying that. What do you expect them to do?
No. Because I said the same thing. No, it's not some way. I don't know what you expect to hear from me. I said the same thing, and you insisted. You were still pushing me to know, to say that telcos have a role. I've said that already. Telcos have a role. What is the role they can play? It is training. Even the Ghana Police Service, what's the role they can play? You see, I'm repeating the same thing that I have been saying. If you put a camera there. So we have cameras in this studio. Let's just assume that there's a mobile money operations center, and this is big enough. So we have cameras all over.
And we call ourselves Cash Limited.
Thank you. Registrar General, inspectors, we're coming to register.
Yeah.
Helen is the robber. Helen has come in. Bring your bring all your cash. There's a camera, all right. There's an alarm, all right, provided by the telcos that I am working with. The camera is showing. I've triggered the alarm. So what happens? Relax. Relax.
What I'm saying to you is that these...
You want answers, don't you? No, you are not coming. Wait. You see, you are doing that and you are making me say the same thing over and over and over. And we are arguing over things that we shouldn't be arguing over. There's a camera there. The alarm has been provided. The person triggers the alarm. The camera captures the bad man, as we put it. Now, in the meantime, how do you protect the life of you, the vendor? Because that person who has come to rob you is crazy. He can easily kill you. So it is not just enough providing a camera. It is not just enough providing an alarm. And I've made all those points. I have said that you can provide an alarm, they will still kill the person. So between the time the person has triggered the alarm and the time that there's a response, what happens? What is the kind of response you are expecting? Number one, how is the person supposed to protect himself as a human being, protect his life, and forget about the money? How does he protect his life to ensure that he doesn't lose his life in the process? Number three, how does he ensure that, even if there's any, they bolt away with any amounts at all. It would be in such minimal amounts as possible as not to collapse the business.
Because
all these are things that will be part of such a training program that I spoke about. So again, I ask you, practically, Crosby, what are you expecting Airtel to go? MCN, Telecel, what are the other ones?
I think that's it.
Those are only networks we have, right? Glo? That's a big question. So practically, what do we expect them to do? And I ask again, practically, what do we expect Ghana Police Service to do?
Helen, is there
because the fact of the matter is that any corner you turn, even out here, we have a Momo operator here, we have another one down here. So are we expecting Ghana Police to put a policeman here?
Nobody has said that. Helen, is there a way we could physically protect these mobile money agents, and what role can the telcos themselves play?
Okay, so we also are not trying to encourage
assuming that you are the bad man.
I mean, I don't know whether or not if we see more of the robbers don't, as it stands now, they know that there's no CCTV really for a bulk of them. They know that there's no alarm. I don't know whether if more mobile money vendors have alarms and CCTV, it serves as a deterrent, because really it's what happens to the culprits. That is what will send the signal that there's a zero tolerance for robbing of mobile money agents. Now you have the cameras, you have your alarms and whatnot. I don't know if that's a deterrent enough, or what kind of scapegoatism that we have to see before we get the results. Because if you think about what this new government is trying to do, attempting to implement 24-hour economy, the issue of security has come up time without number. Is it the case that increased police presence would aid the situation? It's a tricky one, because as Sixtus says, between the time that somebody has pushed an alarm, we know what our response times are like. Over 70% of Ghanaians say they'd rather call a relative before they call any security service. So, I mean, between the time you've rang the bell and people are around you, as per statistics, are calling friends and family, I don't know how you can get away with your life intact. It's a big problem.
Even the banks. I really cannot immediately recall any bank robbery in the immediate past. I can't recall any. But even the banks, I'm assuming that the bank have such alarms that they would trigger in such
there are panic buttons available all the time.
So what is the response time we get for even the banks? You see, which are more organized, bigger, and probably would attract a certain response from the police.
That's right.
I'm sure the banks, they have some arrangement with the security agencies, with the police, and maybe based on where they are situated too as well. Maybe some of the factors we need to consider is where these mobile money agents find themselves. Some are very secluded, although they're providing service to people. But where they are, people are not there. So if people are coming to rob you, it is you and your God. Another thing that maybe we could also look at is, and with support from the telco Sixtus, for the booths they work with, fortify them in a certain way. You know how forex bureaus operate. So you can't go to a forex bureau and then you see the how do they call them?
Whatever, the operators.
Yes. Running around, you see them
because they are behind
the glass. They are working behind. Sometimes some are bulletproof.
Sixtus is looking. Say he's local. He's local. No, I mean, he's local forex.
I don't know which town Crosby is in.
Oh no, my local forex bureau. Not the guy will never come out.
You never. See
there's
them.
a bar. In fact, look like he's in prison.
In fact, when you go to a
but
forex
I'm saying
bureau,
that is not fortified in any way. I've also been to forex bureaus.
Forget
my aboki that I deal with.
It's just like what burglar proof.
That thing can be broken.
That one, they can even put your pistol through that. But
and make you bring
some kind of barrack.
See, we can say that your example is wrong. We agree. Fortify them. I mean, if there could be a policy by the telcos that before we issue you a merchant license, I beg your pardon, we will come and inspect the container you are working from. We will ensure that it is bulletproof, for instance. We will ensure that it is spacious enough to contain the human being, and we will also ensure that there are certain features that we are looking for. We will determine before we issue such
So that's a role that telco can play.
You get it. But even that, you are going to increase cost of operations.
That's right. Because you have to purchase a bulletproof container, spend a bit more.
If that is a price we have to pay to protect the agents, should we not do that?
Do you live in Ghana?
Yes.
It's important, but I can see that deterring a lot of people from...
You live in Ghana?
From...
Even the banks, how many banks have bulletproof? How many banks do their tellers sit in bulletproof cages?
They have security personnel there.
The one policeman who stands out there.
They have private security as well.
The two who are opening doors for people and helping people fill forms.
If you go to the
we speak as if we don't know what is happening in our town.
If you go to the rural banks, some of the small proper banks, if you like, some do not even carry the amount of money some mobile money agents carry on a daily basis.
That's not
but
true.
They have
That's not true. Crosby.
Crosby said go to a rural bank.
He has not been to a rural bank before.
And you say that I'm living in Ghana.
No, you are not living in Ghana.
He says that some
mobile
money agents have way more money in their coffers.
They deal with more cash than some banks, some proper banks situated
I am saying that the expectations that you are having,
that are in big malls,
that you have of these Momo guys, relate that to even your commercial banks. How many banks? Don't you enter a bank? You are going to go into a bank. You see two private security people there. One is at the gate, one is inside. The one at the gate is helping people fill forms. And we see these things every day. The person is rather teaching you how to fill a certain form. They become receptionists, not security people. If you have armed police there, it is one policeman who is sitting at the entrance there or under some tree somewhere. These are realities. So with your commercial banks alone, you are unable to enforce a certain standard. And you say now, relate that to Momo vendors who are scattered all over the place, who are not, in fact, a lot of the instances, you can't even identify them. The people in the locality, even in Accra here, they know that, oh, this person is a Momo vendor. But if you, a stranger, walk into the space, you won't be able to identify the person. So let's be realistic with our expectations. That's all I have been saying.
Okay, so what? How do you think we can protect these people? Or there's no way we can protect them. We leave them to their fate.
Say it again.
No, you've spoken about.
But I have said all.
What you're asking. So you're asking.
Okay, Sixtus, would you bulletproof it in 3 points, short points?
I've done that one too.
No, just things like this.
I've done that one too.
The man is just doing come see. So we can't protect them.
I have not said that. If indeed you were with me, you would have said.
The point you have raised this morning: train them, provide cameras, panic buttons, and all of that. You say you are the same person saying that these things cannot even be enforced properly. So if it cannot be enforced properly, then those who cannot do it, should we leave them like that?
Let's leave them.
Wow, look at
Let's leave them.
Is this captured on 3news.com?
Because I think that we are saying the same thing over and over.
Is this captured on 3? Is there a story captured on 3news.com?
No.
Because recently the PRO of the Mobile Money Association or Mobile Money Agents Association said that they've experienced 11 deaths so far of mobile money within the year. 11. That is very alarming. On average, what is that? Some 3 deaths or more?
No,
over 3 deaths
it's
in the last 3 months, and those are deaths that are actually reported. These are ones that are reported. Maybe there are others that we don't even know about. Could be in different parts, more rural areas, and so on and so forth.
Sister says we should leave them.
And so it's very, very, it's troubling.
It is.
It's very troubling.
It's troubling, but there's no way to protect them.
And Crosby, and you know that actually, quite interestingly, with the e-levy conversation, the taxes haven't been abolished. We're still waiting. Has Mahama signed? Not yet. President Mahama has not signed. He has signed it. Thank goodness. We were told that he was going to travel, and it might take some time.
On the same day
he
that
signed.
He was waiting to sign before
he. Wow. Okay.
So it should have happened. By now.
So then the next step will be for the back end operations, whatever
yes.
they have to punch
The
in for it to
system that
stop taking my money from my pocket.
No, but we could just try that. Helen, you
No,
try.
I tried it this morning. That's how it's top of mind. And please, and it went from my bank account to my momo.
No, that way you won't feel it.
And Abine still found a way to take some of that money.
From you to you.
From me to me. And they still tax me to me.
So try the other way.
From me to you.
Yes.
How much did I send?
2K from you to me. Let's see.
Don't worry. You get one of those text messages. You know when the scammers, your account, AKANT, has been charged. Bring. The spelling is what kills me. But back to the story of mobile money agents. They actually linked some of the increased violence that they face to e-levy. Now check this out. They said at the inception of e-levy, some of their patrons, clients were under the impression that the charges were actually being put on by the mobile money agents themselves. Although we were all here when we saw the fracas, we will pass it, and there's nothing you can do about it. They claim that people would actually come and transact, do the transactions, and then actually, start insulting them and, being aggressive because they thought, you guys are the ones chopping. They thought the e-levy was going to the mobile money agents. So they're also hoping that now with the abolishment of e-levy, those of you who would go there and attack them will calm down. Their e-levy doesn't go into their own personal pockets, so that you think that
attacking them because of e-levy.
That's what the PRO said, that actually in the inception of e-levy, they would go and people there think the e-levy is going to the mobile money agents.
I think the fight we had was with the supermarket operators.
Yes.
Those that you go to do a pay with Momo, then they'll tell you for charges.
Please, for charges no can come.
That's the way.
Hey, they bomb. Even if I'm going to add the charges, the fact that you have told me, or for me, some of our ride-hailing services that is the way you add charges, right? You add the charges, right?
As if I'm the one who passed the law.
I mean, the first time e-levy came into force, I went to a restaurant and there was so much confusion.
Yes.
You will pay the e-levy. I said, I will pay the e-levy. Why should I pay the e-levy? You will pay go and call your manager for me and so on and so forth. But now it's been signed, so we only have to wait and then see. Or it hasn't been signed?
No, not yet.
Sixtus.
Not yet.
It hasn't been signed.
Parliament
you
has
have broken my
passed
hands. The president, maybe he couldn't get to him in time before he traveled.
We actually were told that he was waiting that day to assent to it. That is the thing.
Assent to it
before traveling out.
Okay, well, fellow Ghanaians, we have to wait a little bit longer.
But the finance minister
Parliament
says
House and the Flagstaff House, there stands plenty.
I mean, yesterday he was at the Eid al-Fitr prayers. We should have just flagged him down as soon as he finished. Come on, sign it, please. We beg you.
I think the clerks of Parliament should be chasing the.
Chasing. We can't.
Appiah-Ampofo says that the man will sign it. Relax. When it gets to
I've
him,
paid a lot.
Has it gotten to him? When it gets to him, he will sign it.
That's what I'm asking. How many miles is it between Parliament House and? It's the same thing we heard about that LGBTQUVRTU bill
becoming.
Say, it has come. It has not come. It has been transmitted. It has not been. Meanwhile, the thing is a walking distance from Parliament.
E-levy, trust me, it's one of those tax policies that really pained me a lot. Really, really, really pained me a lot. Government was desperate at that time. We will not go to the IMF. You are Sambalat, you are Tobias. And I kept saying at the time, if we had gone earlier, we would have alleviated the plight of the everyday Ghanaian. You said, no, if you bring e-levy, it's like Akobam. It's going to do this. It's going to do that.
The solution to all our problems.
I remember Stika says that we will pass it. He says the opposition, they know how it's going to transform the lives of Ghanaians. That's why they don't want us to bring it. e-levy in its first year was projected to bring 6 billion cedis. That thing brought 529 million.
When they didn't get the money to, they turned around and said it was the opposition.
Yes.
Because the opposition stampeded the bill, it didn't kick into action early. That is why.
And that has been the song and dance of the prior government, which for me sometimes, excuse me to say, can feel a bit insulting. Descending Ghanaians do not need somebody else to come and make up their minds for them. Something is bad, it is bad. But also interestingly, we know that the then government, now opposition, had also promised to repeal it. So it's a step in the right direction. Although this morning, LI, is it 264624 is high up on the radar.
I understand that the e-levy bill, it was passed 2 days. It was signed 2 days after it was passed by Parliament. I mean,
it was assented to 2 days after it was passed.
The law itself.
The law itself.
Okay.
I mean, the Appiah-Ampofo one.
Okay.
2 days.
Are you sure it waited till 2 days? It was immediate.
Oh, Sixtus.
No,
It was immediate.
It was
You
2
know
days.
how-
It was
Because
2 days.
I think that, no, at the time there was a conversation around it then. At the time there were other
Parliament
laws
passed
that
it
were
on
waiting.
Tuesday, 29th March.
Tuesday
2022.
Okay.
And then the president assented to it on 31st March 2022.
Okay. Maybe he had
So it
travels.
was quick. That's why this check account. This should hurry up.
I mean, as much as government is committed to abolishing these taxes, a little extra money never hurts. That extra few days, those monies are very beneficial.
Why did they let Parliament?
Charlie, you have to. You have to balance the politicals of it all. Whilst you are telling them how cancel the smaller you can get quickly.
They
One more week of
one by
it.
one by. They do the lottery first. They come and do the betting first. They come and do the VAT distance and sustainability things. Then you leave. While you're doing that, then you are packing the e-levy money so that.
Yeah, because essentially this government says that we're going to make money by not wasting, so cutting down of all the extra, which we are seeing. They also talk about a zero tolerance for corruption. Also, I guess there was this idea that Aura was going to put money in our coffers, but as for that one, fellow Ghanaians, let me make more measure, more expectations, because it takes time. Prosecutions take time, retrievals take time, and so on and so forth. But it's been interesting to witness the conversation, the heightened conversation amongst Ghanaians. Certainly, we are getting more discerning, more savvy.
You spoke about Sambalat and Tobias.
Yes, please.
The one that
you want to play.
Let's play Sambalat and Tobias.